Hello, once again, I'm continuing my reviews with my friend Eric Casey on the movies that were made based on Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
And the movie we want to review is Batman Mystery of the Batwoman.
The Batwoman.
Yes. Now, this came out in 2003. It was released straight to video, and this is a spin-off movie of Batman the Animated Series, but it's kind of...
Season 4.
Yeah, it's basically set in the timeline of Season 4, and the animation style is definitely taken off of Season 4, which I wasn't the biggest fan of the animation style in Season 4.
It's hit or miss, give or take. There's some changes that... I'll admit there were some changes in that animation that I liked, particularly Scarecrow. Yeah. And then there's others like the Joker, who looked like Mickey Mouse, bestly put by the nostalgia critic.
Yeah, and then there was Jim Gordon, who I didn't like in Season 4 of the...
His big swollen chin.
But this movie, I would say out of the animated Batman movies that were based on Batman the Animated Series, this is probably my least favorite.
Same.
Yeah, you mentioned when we were watching it that just seemed like... more of just a long episode of the show, basically.
Yeah, the difference between the previous 3 movies that we did is that I felt like when I was watching it, they kind of had like a movie experience feel to them. They felt very cinematic. They felt very like grand and big. Like this was a big freaking deal. Mystery of the Batwoman is like, you know. This Batwoman shows up to avenge, you know, her personal goals, and Bane shows up.
Okay, the plot of Mystery of the Batwoman is basically this new vigilante shows up who is a woman, and she's basically doing the same thing Batman is, even dressing up like a bat. Yep. And, of course, it's not Barbara Gordon, though.
Right.
And basically, the whole movie's about Batman trying to figure out who the Batwoman actually is. But in the movie, there are, I want to say, like, 3 main villains. There's the Penguin, Rupert Thorne, who is a character from the comics and the animated series, who I actually think is one of the more underrated Batman villains.
Very underrated.
And then there's Bane, who shows up at the end of the movie.
End of it, yep.
And basically, it turns out that the Batwoman is going after Penguin and Rupert Thorne, and there is another character who's a gangster who's helping them, but I don't know if you would call him a villain, because he does kind of redeem himself at the end of the movie. But, I would say I like the story.
Yeah. I mean...
I will say, when you found out the whole twist on who the Batwoman is, I kind of saw that coming, but...
Yeah.
It was still... I like the story, it's just,
I think it does have a clever twist.
It's clever, but I did see it coming, though.
The story does have a clever twist to it, I think. You can see it coming. The way they do it, though, is still a little bit clever, though. The way it turned out, I didn't see it coming. There were some things I was like, okay, I can kind of see that coming. But then when they actually did it, it was kind of surprising, I'll admit that. But kind of like what you said before, mentioning what I said before, that basically, it's very, like I said, it's very down-to-earth. Kind of story-wise in the whole thing. It doesn't feel like what the previous Batman the Animated movies felt like.
Yeah.
It was very down-to-earth, kind of settle in a way. And
yeah, but, I don't know, it just wasn't as strong as the other one, so...
Yeah.
And the story's fine, it's just, once again, I'm not a big fan of the animation. You know, the animation, I don't want to say kills it for me, but... This is... Being that I'm already not a big fan of the animation from Season 4, and this movie is basing itself heavily on Season 4, just didn't do it a lot for me, you know?
Yeah, I personally don't mind the animation in Season 4. I actually like how the direction that they went. I just didn't like the character changes, but I didn't mind it, to be fair.
Now, I do want to give away a mild spoiler, but at the end of the movie... At the end of the movie, it looks like Bane dies at the end, but that's kind of a continuity problem because...
Batman Beyond,
Yeah, he shows up in an episode of Batman Beyond, and supposedly this is set in that same universe.
Right.
You know? But, I do want to talk about Bane from Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Bane from Batman the Animated Series, because in the animated series and in this movie, he comes off as more of a two-dimensional villain, when in the comics, he was a much more complex character, and... Yeah,
in the animated series and this, they basically just treat him as a, you know, a henchman for hire, you know, basically a boss battle, basically, with Batman. And I do like that when they first introduced him in the animated series, they did give us a little brief history on him.
But not enough, because it doesn't mention how he was actually born in that prison. And
and also the stories that focused on Bane, again, he was just a henchman, basically a guy for hire, to just beat up Batman and break him a little bit, and hurt him.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, go into how, in the comic Nightfall, he actually figured out Batman's identity and all that shit.
Right, yeah, they never played to his strengths besides the Venom stuff.
Yeah, they don't
which were kind of disappointing.
Yeah, they never played into how intelligent the character was either. Yeah. Because literally, he figured out, in the comics, he figured out Batman's identity through detective work, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's basically...
He's pretty much genius. He's almost just as smart as Batman is, because Batman is also pretty smart as well.
Yeah, they're basically same on intellect level, pretty much.
Yeah. But besides that, I mean, I would recommend Mystery of the Batwoman.
It's a good watch. It's still entertaining. It's not as good as the Phantasm or Sub-Zero or Return of the Joker, but it's still a very good watch. It still has some clever twists here and there in the story-wise. Like we said, it's basically just a longer version of an episode from season 4, which, if you ask me, it's not bad. It doesn't you know, make you want to kill yourself like Batman and Robin.
That never happened.
I know. But yeah, totally recommend it. Besides, it does have flaws, but totally recommend it. Definitely check it out.
Alright. So I think we should end this video off here.
I think we should too.